would like a show of hands. Who here has ever suffered from imposter syndrome? Okay, that's brilliant. I'm not the only one in the room. How about this guy? No, he doesn't suffer from, why not? He believes he can make America great again. I have another question for you. It's a bit of a risky one. Who thinks that I'm an imposter standing up here talking about imposter syndrome? Okay, that's good. That's good. More on that later. So my name is Aoife O'Brien. My business is empowerment coaching, and I empower people to be happier at work by being more productive and more effective. Today, I'm going to share with you my story of imposter syndrome. I'm going to touch on how imposter syndrome shows up, and you're going to walk away with 3 specific actions that you can take from today in relation to overcoming imposter syndrome. So imposter syndrome is something I've only become aware of in the last number of years. It's not something that I was necessarily specifically aware of, although it's probably kind of hindered me throughout my career. It's really shown up for me when I moved cities, when I was promoted to a senior position, when I changed roles. You get this sense, this fear of, you know, someone's going to come along and tap me on the shoulder and say, listen, we've made a huge mistake. It wasn't meant to be you who was promoted. I'm sorry, but you know, it's gone to someone else instead. So it's this underlying dread, this feeling that you have. And it's not a good feeling. It's really not a good feeling. The kind of things that I would say to myself would be things like, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to do this job. I'm not good enough to take this role. I'm not good enough to work with this client. I'm not experienced enough. I need more experience to be able to do that. It really boils down to me telling myself I am not enough. How about this? What's Darren in sales going to say about me when he hears about this promotion? What's Caroline going to say when she hears I'm setting up my own business? That's me putting my self-worth in the hands of other people, looking for external validation. How about this one? And I think anyone who has their own business can really relate to this. There are so many coaches and consultants out there. Who am I, little old me, to compete with them? That's the self-doubt creeping in. I have a story to share. I watched a video the other day on Facebook. It was a clip that came up, a show called My Mad Fat Diary. It's not a show I've ever watched before. I was aware of it because I would have seen ads and things like that. But it's something that really struck a chord with me. It's not necessarily related to imposter syndrome, but I think you can all relate to this. So the main character, the fat girl, is in her therapist's office and he says, close your eyes. She closes her eyes. Tell me what you don't like about yourself. And she says, I'm fat, I'm ugly. And he says, and how long have you had these feelings? Oh, I think since I was about 9 or 10. Okay, I want you to open your eyes. Your 10-year-old self is sitting on the couch beside you. I want you to turn to her and I want you to say, you're fat. She said, I can't do it. I want you to say, you're ugly. No, I can't do it. So he pushed and eventually she said, no, I'm not saying that. And the look of realization on her face when he said, that's what you're telling yourself all this time. What would you like to tell that little girl who thinks she's fat, who thinks she's ugly? And she said, you're fine. You're perfect. And these are the messages that we're telling ourselves all the time when we say we can't do something, that we're not good enough. Just watch out for those messages that you're telling yourself. It's only our own beliefs that are stopping us. So imposter syndrome also shows up in some other ways. You might be able to relate to this. Perfectionism. So you're used to things being easy. You're used to getting good grades. You're used to getting great results. But suddenly something's not so easy anymore, so you think, I can't do it. I'm not good enough. Procrastination. I'm not ready. I want to run an event. I want to run a program. I'm not ready. You keep putting it off. You keep putting it off and off. You're never going to be ready. How about this? Leaving things till the last minute. So you have a big client meeting coming up. You know that it's going to take a lot of preparation. But yet you leave it till the last minute. You go in. The meeting doesn't go as well as it could have. And then you tell yourself, well, I knew that was going to fail. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So really, it's our own beliefs about ourselves that is getting in our way. So I asked you earlier, who here thinks that I'm an imposter? And nobody said that I was an imposter. But I could easily think that. I've got award-winning Colin O'Brien in the audience. I've got Maureen, who teaches people how to present. I could very easily be standing here and saying, I don't deserve to be here. But I'm not. I have some good news and I have some bad news. What would you like to hear first? The bad news. Excellent, because that's how it's lined up. Who can relate to this? When I become successful, I won't feel like an imposter anymore. Yeah? Successful when I lose weight, when I get that client I've always wanted, when I win that job, when I get that promotion, then I won't feel like an imposter anymore. This is a myth. It's not true. I have some examples I'd like to share. So I watched a video on YouTube the other day. This guy, David Tennant, famous actor, he spoke very openly about imposter syndrome. He's waiting for that knock on the door to say, right, David, you've had your chance, you've had your turn, now we're going to go play with the real actors. Who remembers Sex and the City? Petrovsky, Carrie's boyfriend, big exhibition coming up in Paris. At the last minute, he says, what if they think I'm the old man with the lights? This globally successful artist, and the self-doubt creeps in. The good news, a lot of people suffer from it. So you saw the show of hands that we had earlier. I also did a highly scientific poll on my Instagram. 88% of people said that they have suffered from imposter syndrome at some stage. So know that you're not alone. The other good news is there's something that we can do about it. What can we do? The first thing is to acknowledge it for what it is. Have an awareness. Listen to the voice in your head. What is it saying? Is it procrastinating? Is it striving for perfection? Is it saying you're not good enough? Is it saying you can't do something? Is that true? Would you say that to your 10-year-old self? Take action. Going back to what Amanda said earlier, just take that first step. If you make a mistake, you can always learn. There's no such thing as failure in my book. There's degrees of success. You can always learn. Done is better than perfect, as they say. And the last one is to believe in yourself. Believe that you deserve the success, that you deserve the accomplishments that you've had. Just believe it. I also want to, together with you, rewrite the script. No more fake it till you make it. That implies that you're faking it, that you're a fraud. Let's change the script. Believe and you will achieve.